Welcome to Tuber LePew Show. This is my first podcast. If you like my content, please subscribe and like. If you hate my content, please still like and subscribe. Now, I'm going to be talking mostly about politics, or essentially the stuff that revolves around politics. And today I'm going to be talking about the Donald Trump tweet about wiretapped. Terrible! Just found out that Obama had my wires tapped in the Trump Tower before the victory. Nothing found. This is McCarthyism. No, I definitely would say this is definitely McCarthyism. And I am not really sure if this is not illegal or not legal or whatever by the Obama administration, as he was president. And I don't believe there's any real law that says they can't, quote unquote, investigate someone who is running for president, which includes electronic surveillance or wiretapping. Now, I think that's another one of the issues with this whole story is that because Donald Trump says wiretapped, everybody is stuck to something was touching his phone or tapped his phone, literally. No, it's more like electronic surveillance. And whatever that entitles, who knows? It's the government. They have the Stingray, for instance, which tracks every phone that goes onto a cell tower, and they're able to extrapolate all those phones to find that one target that they're aiming for. And how they do all that, I don't know. Another revolving question around this is, if Obama knew about it, why didn't he do nothing about it? And I'll actually return back to that. Because during this whole investigation that was happening, they requested a warrant back in the June 20th of 16, around that time. And the FISA court denied it. Now, that's a very difficult one to achieve, actually. Since the FISA court hands out 34,000 warrants, and that was recorded back in 2013. So it could be more, it could be less now, but it's still really high, I bet. But in 2013, out of the 34,000 warrants, only 12 of them was denied, was rejected. That's a .03 rejection rate. That is crazy. That's like taking a grain of sand that you found in your ass cheek, tossing it back into the beach, and trying to find that sand. Good luck. It kind of makes me wonder what they were asking for in the first warrant for the FISA to deny it. It must have been really out there. But their second request, they narrowed it down a little more to being pretty much around a server that was in Trump's tower, claiming that it was tied to Russian banks. But the investigation led to nothing. But they continue to surveil Donald Trump. Now, to my best of my knowledge, when you don't find something in an investigation, you drop it. You don't continue. Which leads me back to, did Obama order this? No, I don't think so. But I do believe Obama knew about it. And he does have a track record on knowing about these incidents. Back during, was the 2007 election, I think it was, or 6, or whatever, he knew the IRS was targeting Green Party conservative members. He found out that. He didn't order it. He found out and allowed it. And he never came out and condoned it or condemn it. I think another second great example is the Angela Merkel. Except was it about 7 years as well ago? I think it was a German article that came out saying that Angela Merkel was being investigated. I'm not sorry, not investigated. Was being under surveillance by the NSA, which was the Obama administration at the time. Now again, Obama never ordered that, but he allowed it, and he didn't stop it. At least not right away. So it makes me wonder what they have on Angela Merkel. Because if my memory serves me correct, and I don't remember the exact quote, but she did say that multiculturalism, diversity, was no good for a nation that politically identifies with a single race, essentially. When the demographics is one group, not many. She claimed that it was not good. Angela Merkel said that. You can look it up, folks. I mean, at least I don't have the exact quote in front of me. I'm going off the top of my head, but I mean, she did say that it's not good. So it just makes me wonder, what did they find out on her to make her change her mind? I mean, she changed her mind in a way that undermines what she said, but also is destroying her nation, and she's seeing it. There's no way that you cannot see your own nation crumbling underneath you because of what you have done. And so it makes me really wonder. It makes me wonder what they have on her, what they're blackmailing. So yeah, I think there is a great case to make that Trump was being surveilled. I don't think it was phones being tapped. I think it was more along the lines of electronic surveillance. And I'd say it is pretty sick to do that to your political opponent, to your political enemy opponent. I mean, Trump and Obama weren't buddies, that's for certain. So then, back in October 31st of 16, Hillary tweets out, computer scientists have apparently uncovered a covert server linking Trump's organization to a Russian-based bank. Now, how would you have known that if there was no such investigation happening? And then the next question is, why does she know top secret intelligence? A leak? So Jason Osborne tweets out, if DOJ order taps of the Donald Trump makes the meeting between Bill Clinton and Lynch more suspicious. I would agree, Jason Osborne. That would make that whole situation between Bill Clinton and Lynch very more suspicious. Which brings me into my next points. I mean, the fact that Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton met at the exact same airport during a very intense, a very sensitive moment is no coincidence. I mean, the fact that I believe it was the Phoenix airport staff members were even talking about that they knew that these two individuals were coming 3 days ahead of time. So if the staff members knew 3 days ahead of time, you know damn well Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton knew that they were going to be there at the same time. I mean, at the same time, the same hours. I mean, I could see if one came in the morning, one came through the night or something like that. So, a little bio on Laura Lynch. She was the 83rd Attorney General of the United States, appointed by President Barack Obama in 2015. You know, for someone who's supposed to be holding up the law, who's supposed to stand for essentially blind liberty, or blind justice, blind justice for liberty, and to stand up for freedom and for truthfulness, and for, I would assume, I hope in her nature she would want to spread peace, leads me into the next. Peace. What she says here is definitely not at all peaceful. It is definitely not nice. She's not meaning well. And here's her quotes. Ordinary people who simply saw what needed to be done. They marched, they bled. Yes, some of them have died. We have done this before, we can do this again. What the hell would you mean by they marched, they bled, and they've died? Are you insinuating that people should do that again? Because by the next statement, we have done this before, we can do this again, implies that you want the people who stand against Trump, people who do not want Trump to be president, you want them to march and to bleed and perhaps die for their cause. Now, at one time, that was a way to get a message across. Not anymore. Not in these cases. We reap the rewards of our forefathers that have died for the First Amendment, which allows us to get our message across without force, without threats, without violence. And we got this awesome platform called the internet to be able to send this message out, to get your message out, to get anybody's message out. And you don't have to force people. You don't have to threaten people. If people either like your message, they'll agree with it. Which is like the free market. For someone to sit here and to be hailed as such a awesome person by the left sure means pretty ill for those people who are going to be marching, bleeding, and dying, because it's not going to be her on the front lines. It won't be her children on the front lines. In fact, it won't be any of her family on the front lines.